Hello and welcome to Hybrids. Hybrids is all about building your blip and using your genes to stay in the center while pushing other players off the board. The winner will be decided by achieving a predetermined amount of points. For new players, we recommend playing up to 300 points to keep the game shorter while learning. And for experienced players, we recommend playing to 500 to allow for more interesting builds and strategies. Players can earn points by staying on the board or pushing other players off the board, also known as a ring out or RO. Ending the round on the golden center tile will get you 100 points, while ending on the green grassy tiles will get you 50 points. But ending in the brown mountainous tiles will only get you 25 points. When you ring out someone, you immediately get 50 points, but you might look like a jerk. If at the end of a round you're not on the board, then you will get 0 points. Players can respawn at the start of their turn and may do this on any of the following light blue squares. You may also respawn at the same round you were RO'd if you haven't taken your turn yet. When you start the game, deal out 4 gene cards to each player. Players may choose to equip up to 2 genes to establish a starting build. Gene cards tell you which body slot they belong to in the top left corner of the card. Head, arm, body, or feet. Place the gene card over the correct body slot to equip the gene. Some special gene cards have 2 gene icons, and those cards take up both body slots to equip and is represented by placing the gene over each body slot card. For the first round of gameplay, after players have selected their starting genes, each player will then use their genes in turn order. Now, to use your genes, you'll have to know how to read them. Gene cards all start at level 1 and may be leveled up by attaching an evil stone, a type of relic card. X is always a maroon color, and it corresponds to the number above the level at the bottom of each card. A light pink Y will appear as a second number for some genes, and this corresponds to the light pink number after the maroon number above each level. When using your genes, you may use them each once per round. If you activate a gene, remember that you have to use all the effects of that gene before moving on to the next, including all relics attached to that gene. If a gene has an effect that is worded as a passive ability, you may use that passive whenever the triggered conditions are met. If a once per round effect is used, you may tap the gene to indicate the ability has been used for the round. If a gene tells you to move, you may move your character up, down, left, or right 1 space at a time up to the total amount of movement listed on the card. You can't move through or on top of other players and units as they're already occupying that space. If a gene tells you to push a target, move the target away from the character up to the number stated on the card. If they're on the same row or column as your character, move them away from yourself in a straight line. If they're not, move them away in the following pattern: sideways, then up or down, then keep repeating the pattern until the push total has been reached. If a gene tells you to dash, you can move in a straight line for that number on the card. Finally, if a gene tells you to pull, do the opposite of a push and bring the target towards yourself, following the same rules for targets not in the same row or column as you. However, once the target reaches the same row or column as you, you'll then have to move them in a straight line until they reach the total on the card or are next to you. If someone walks over one of these relic tokens, give them a relic card from the relic deck. We'll cover relics in a moment. Once everyone has taken their turns, give out points based on where the players are currently standing on the board. Then, it's time for the next and first true full round. First, roll the d20 twice and place a relic token on the space rolled. The first roll is how far down the board the token will be, and the second is how far across. If you roll 2 18 to 20s on the die, keep rolling until you get 2 results between 1 and 17. Then, place 2 relics on the board instead of 1 on that spot. Next, give every player 4 new gene cards and 1 new relic card from the corresponding decks. Players may keep up to 1 of the gene cards to equip, but must discard the rest. If you want to replace a gene, you must discard the previous gene in order to use a new one. You must also discard any relics attached to the previous one as well, so choose carefully. If any of the players are currently in last place and is not tied with anyone else, give them 1 extra relic card. You may now also start attaching any permanent relic cards you have to your genes. These relics are designated by the infinity symbol on the top left of the card. Each gene may have up to 2 permanent relic cards attached to it. Some relic cards are consumables, designated by the trash can symbol on the top left of the card. You may use these at the start of any player's turn, unless the card states otherwise. Players may spend points to purchase up to one extra relic card each turn. They may also spend points to buy gene rolls, which is another batch of 4 genes from the top of the gene deck, allowing them to attach one of those genes from that roll if they wish. There's no limit to how many times you may do a gene roll, but you must do your purchases in turn order for that round. Gene rolls cost 10 points each, whereas relic rolls cost 25 points. If a player was given a free bonus relic for being in last place, they may not purchase relics in this turn. After everyone is done buying and attaching their new cards, the game will start with the new first player for this round and continues until everyone has used their genes, just like the first round. At this point, you all know the basics of how to play. If you forget anything, feel free to consult your gentle reminder card, then the rulebook if needed. Thank you so much for playing Hybrids. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord server in the description below and ask away. Have fun!